Here we go. Get that rudder down. There we go. Little guy. Little guy. Alrighty, what is going on, guys? We're out here at Bonham Lake, and I'm going to be doing a review of this Magellan Pedal Kayak. I bought this thing. I've been eyeballing it for quite a while, to be honest with you. They've had it in my local academy. Finally went ahead and bought it. It goes on sale pretty often, even at MSRP though. It's only $11.99. For like a roto-molded pedal kayak, I mean, it's a pretty stinking good deal if you ask me. So I went ahead and picked one up. There's not a ton of reviews on it, to be honest with you. A lot of the reviews that I've seen, at least, are people that like set it up in their garage and are about to use it, you know what I mean, like initial thoughts type of thing. I mean, all of that is great, but it's all stuff you can kind of find out for yourself in the store. You know, I'm more interested about how's this thing fish, how stable is it, how's the pedal drive work, things like that. That's my goal for the day, is to maybe shed some light on some of the questions that I know at least I had about the kayak. Maybe let you know if it's worth buying. Of course, Academy does not make these, obviously. They are outsourced to the kayak company, I believe is what it's called, who also makes like Riot and maybe somebody else, I can't really remember. But yeah, I mean, those kayaks are pretty known to be a good budget option. So I think that since they're the ones making this Magellan Kayak as well, probably has pretty good quality control. Obviously mine has no issues, but that being said, it also, because it is made by the same company, it uses the Riot impulse drive, and there's good and bad things about that. Number one, I don't know if you can hear that, but it is pretty noisy. I have tried to grease the gears, but they are plastic gears, and so that's the bad thing about this pedal drive system. I mean, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a bad thing just yet, because I haven't had problems with it, but I would definitely have preferred to had metal gears in the pedal drive system. But for this price, I'm not too upset. Because it's a Riot impulse drive, you can find parts for this online. They're readily available. I think I looked it up, and it was somewhere in the ballpark of $100 to replace the whole gear assembly, or maybe just the whole main gear in this top portion, and about the same for the bottom portion as well. They actually have a re-gearing kit as well for this kayak that I believe is also about $100, and you can actually change the size of the gear in the bottom to make you get, you know, like more. It makes it a little bit harder to pedal, but I guess you get more out of each turn. They also come with like a smaller option where you don't get as much out of each turn, but it makes it a lot easier to pedal. And then it also comes with an extra of the standard size gear for the lower unit. So yeah, I would definitely consider that a plus. Parts being readily available, and this pedal drive has been around for a really long time, so there's a lot of information about it online. So yeah, moving on, the next thing that I do not like about this kayak, which I wouldn't necessarily say the pedal drive is a thing that I don't like about it. It's just the fact that it has plastic gears and it is a little bit noisy. I would obviously prefer that not to be the case, but it's very functional. It still works very well, so I can't necessarily say that it's a negative, especially for the price. But something that is absolutely a negative, and if you've done any research on this kayak before watching this video, then you know what I'm about to talk about, and that is the rudder system on this kayak. So I know the older Riot rudder systems had like durability issues with how the cables were ran through the kayak. I don't necessarily think that that's going to be an issue with this at all. That's not really what I'm worried about. What I'm worried about is the fact that the turning capabilities of this rudder system are just pretty awful, especially like in wind like this. It's not super windy outside. It's probably maybe up to 10-mile-an-hour winds right now, and if your kayak is turned sideways against the wind, you really almost have to just do a circle the other way, because it's not going to let you turn against it, and that's pretty frustrating. the last thing that I really can't stand about this kayak, and that you just absolutely have to change, is the paddle holder system. The little bungees on the side here are absolutely atrocious. I mean, they do not hold a paddle in. I don't know if they even tested this before like selling it or putting it on, because it, like, I mean, I'm not kidding you. If you have a paddle in this holder, just a standard size kayak paddle, mine usually falls out like 3 or 4 times a trip at least. I think it starts to sag in one side and gets caught in the water, and then it just pulls itself out. Thankfully I have a paddle that floats, but if I did not, I would have lost my paddle, I mean, within 30 minutes of trying this kayak out. Since we have all that out of the way, let's get into everything that I like about this kayak and why I still think that it's a really good buy. One of the better kayak buys that you can probably make for the price range, to be honest with you. So first off, this kayak has, like, somebody measured it, I think it was like 7 feet worth of track space. So the next thing, we'll talk about the seat. The seat is, you know, obviously it's a big, like, lawn chair style seat, so it's going to be pretty comfortable, especially compared to kayaks that don't have a seat at all. But what I would recommend is getting, like, I've got one of these kayak cushion type things on here. This one's not really a kayak cushion, it's just a little cheap foam one that I got from Academy, but that makes it 100 times more comfortable to sit on. That was a game changer. It just kind of folds down and I bungee it when I'm traveling. I car top mine. And then the next thing that I love about this kayak, as you can see, it is extremely stable. I mean, we don't have glass water right here, and I'm able to just kind of stand here and look around. You know, I don't like turn around without using my hands because there's this little cup holder and stuff in the way here, but it's a super stable kayak. And I have fished in some pretty windy conditions, much windier than this, and I don't know why you would stand up, but I have stood up, and I mean, it does it no problem. So it's a super stable kayak. It makes standing up and fishing just an absolute breeze. But yeah, I absolutely love that the seat is raised and has room for storage under it. If you have a box that you get into a lot and you don't want to turn around and get into your crate, you can just kind of sew it under the seat, or maybe your soft plastics, or, you know, really a whole backpack even if you needed to. So it just makes getting to your tackle a breeze with that thing. You know, another thing that I like about this kayak is that huge front storage hatch up here. So it's not quite a dry storage hatch, but with the scupper plugs in there and the lid shut, it does keep everything dry. I've never had any water get in there. So something else about this kayak I forgot to mention that's just kind of like weird is that it's a fishing kayak and it only has 2 built-in rod holders. You are definitely going to want to have some sort of kayak crate. You know, the other good thing about the kayak is it is roto-molded, so it is going to be a pretty durable build. I certainly have noticed no issues with mine. The only thing that I will say is when you're standing back here on this part here, there's no flex in the deck at all. But sorry, let me turn my camera down. There's no flex if you're standing right here. But if you want to step up here, you can definitely, I mean, I'm 175 pounds, and you can definitely feel it flex a little bit. It's not like it's breaking or anything like that. It's not durable up here. It's just something that I've noticed. But yeah, I mean, overall, I came to this kayak from one that had a motor and foot steering that I set up on it. And I mean, I really do prefer this. It's just so much simpler to have a pedal drive system. Not having to carry a battery around, not having to worry about how much charge your battery has on it, not having to worry about any electrical problems, which, I mean, at least when you DIY it, are just gonna happen. I mean, honestly, fishing with a pedal kayak has really just changed the way that I look at kayak fishing. I just want the most affordable way to get out and enjoy fishing. And if I was gonna spend, you know, $5,000 or even $10,000 on a kayak, I would probably be looking at getting a boat. Oh, hold on, guys, fish on. Little guy. Didn't even realize I had him. It's a crappie. Nice. There you have it, guys. Kayak catches fish. Nice little guy. If I'm spending thousands and thousands of dollars on something, it's probably going to be a boat at that point. Just because the fact that, you know, now I have the option of taking my family out with me, taking friends out with me, things like that. But, you know, I really do like kayak fishing. It's just that the place that it has for me is not to have like a $20,000 ultimate kayak fishing setup. And if that's your thing, that's fine. I mean, they're awesome. I'm sure they're a lot of fun. And you know, if I had the money to blow on both, maybe I would have a nice boat and a nice kayak. But this honestly accomplishes everything that I want out of a kayak. You know, just really simple to set up, really simple to use, nothing to worry about, not really much that can go wrong, to be honest with you. It's very stable, and you know, I don't have to paddle. It's hands-free fishing. And again, that's just really all I'm looking for out of a kayak. So in my opinion, because this is an option at $1,200, personally, I'm not spending any more than that. But if you're somebody like me who, you know, really is just looking for a pretty simple and pretty comfortable budget way to get out on the water and still have a really good fishing experience, I mean, you really just can't go wrong, to be honest with you, with this kayak. It's just all about what you're after. What I've definitely learned, and I'm sure most of you would agree, when you're shopping for something, there's always like, you could always spend, you know, another $100 gets you this, or if I just spent this much more, I'd get this. That's just always going to happen. So at a certain point, you got to ask yourself, you know, what is it that I'm looking for? I mean, there's always going to, and no matter how much money you spend, there's always, I guarantee you, there's always going to be something else that you could have spent just a little bit more money on and gotten something just a little bit nicer. So it's really important that you have, you know, what do you need out of a kayak? What do you want out of a kayak? This kayak checks all my boxes for me, 100%. So yeah, I think if what you're after is an affordable pedal kayak that's gonna get you out on the water, you know, I'm out on a pretty sizable lake right now, and I've been on Lake Texoma in this thing. I mean, it's a kayak, guys. It's, you know, the pedal system works great. It's pretty stable. Of course, you know, there's always a couple things that you could try and change here and there. You know, it needs a paddle holder. Probably needs, you know, something done to the rudder system. You know, they're all things that, you know, I haven't even fixed yet. I've still been fishing with it. So, you know, it's not like you have to go out and, you know, buy the kayak, buy all these upgrades and accessories for it. You really can buy this kayak, go out to whatever body of water and have a good time. If that's what you're after, I really feel like for $1,200 or less on sale, you might not find a better deal. And this thing checks all my boxes. I'm sure it'll check all the boxes for a lot of you guys. And hopefully this video helped you guys out. Hopefully I was able to shed at least a little bit of light on some things that I feel like aren't out there, on some information that I feel like it just isn't out there for this kayak yet. So if there's anything that I missed, let me know down in the comments. I will try my best to get back to you as fast as I can. And, you know, just keep in mind, guys, we're just out here trying to fish. You know, there's nothing to overthink here. Let's just have a good time and have a great day, guys.